Hey, YouTube people. I'm finally making a second video after about 7 months. I've been meaning to make one for so long, but I finally am just forced to because of the awesome past couple of Myers-Briggs or personality typing days I've had. In total, I think I've gotten about 22, 23 people to take the Myers-Briggs test and tell me their result. And out of the 23, I just got my first ENTP. And I predicted that he was going to be an ENFP because in the past few days I've been more and more and more sure that I absolutely love ENFPs. And so I was thinking, like, what people do I just love? And I ran into this one guy that I've known for a few years, kind of on and off. And actually, I fired him a long time ago when he was young. Well, he's still young. He's like 22, I don't know, but or something. But when he was like 18, I think I hired him and fired him, and I loved him. I just fired him because I had to. But like I felt like he forced me to out of principle. But I just really like the guy. And so I was thinking, boy, I ran into him, I talked to him, and he's just so much fun to talk to. And there's all kinds of other people around that I don't want to talk to, but I go right for him. And then I thought, dude, I bet you he's an ENFP. So I had him take the test. And he's an ENTP, apparently. So that's the first ENTP. So maybe we really like each other. I don't know. But I know that about 6 people in my life out of that 20 something were ENFPs, which is much higher, I think, than their proportion should be. But that's because the people I know and the people that I get to take the test are more likely to be ENFPs because I try to get these people and find these people. One of them is an INTJ who is very fond of me. But so I think INTJs like ENTPs, but ENFP, what is it that I like about them? And I want to know in the comments about you guys if you like ENFPs. Let me tell you what I really like, I think. I think what I really like about them is that they're super open-minded, like we are. By nature, they're egalitarian and open-minded. And they are like us in that they're spontaneous, they're intuitive, so you can make a bunch of connections, you can jump from topic to topic. Just the different ideas they come up with is just great, and you just can talk for hours about anything. And I feel like I can just be myself when I'm around an ENFP, at least the ones that I've come to know. So basically, the 3 last people who have worked for me have all been ENFPs, and there's a reason that they stuck around or whatever. And it's partly because we just get along and the way we see things, the way we do things. The way that they make mistakes, I feel like I can identify with, and yeah, just the way that they feel, and their introverted feeling and my introverted thinking, it just jives well together. And I don't know, but I would just say that out of the 6, there's a couple of them that I really haven't spent a lot of time with. I just met them over a period of a couple days, and I just kind of sort of keep in touch with texts or phone calls or whatever. But both of these guys, there's 2 guys I'm thinking of who tested ENFP, who I remember first meeting both of them. And when I first met both of them, I immediately just was infatuated with them as a person. Like, dude, you are my friend. I know you are. I might even have said that to him because we're kind of that way. Like, anyway, I was just. This is something about ENTP personalities too. So ENTPs, we are prone to test friendships. We test for friendship. And the way we do that, I think, at least the way I do it, is subconsciously, which is now more consciously because of what I've been learning. But I think for my whole life, I subconsciously, when I meet somebody, some dude, I start poking at him, I start giving him ideas, I start seeing how he's going to respond. And I probably say weird stuff and try to offend him, or I don't even know. I do all kinds of stuff just to kind of test for friendship. And so both of these guys, They must have passed the test within a few minutes, and they just kept passing the test and kept passing the test and kept. And in some sense, with my friendships with ENFPs, I almost feel like a lot of them I still test. It's like I'm still testing the friendship, and I do that with my INFP friend too. My best friend of many years lives in 1,000 miles away or whatever. We talk on the phone a lot. He has his own business too, and he's got 4 kids, but yet we'll just call each other and talk for hours and that sort of thing. And I poke at him a lot too, I think. And even though he's like my brother from another mother, I still think I kind of test them because we just test people for friendships. But the thing is, some people just continually pass that test, and that's ENFPs to me. I haven't met one yet that I don't like, although there's one guy that I kind of suspect was an ENFP, but I kind of had a falling out with him. He had worked for me. Boy, maybe I could get him to take that test. Yeah. Just the fact that he kind of left on weird terms or started to seem to hate me when it started off so good. Boy, I need to report back to you, find out if that guy was an ENFP, because I immediately loved him and had such a great time until the drama started to come. But anyway, yeah. I'd love to know in the comments if you have any friends that are ENFPs or ENTPs for that matter, or INFPs, because I think that there's something about these types that just have an open-mindedness or just that intuitiveness that just can keep talking to them about all kinds of things and argue with them about things and try to convince them of things and get their ideas and yeah. So I just find it fascinating how I now know if I meet different people, I almost know how to identify them if they're an ENFP. Because if it's some guy that I'm just having a great time with, talking about all kinds of stuff, finding out that he's got all kinds of exciting adventures, I like backpacking. I just discovered that, and I do that, and that's how I met one of these friends. He was telling me about his backpacking trip and how he just left the country and traveled for 6 months and Asia, and he just lived among different people. And the way he told me and the way that I see his adventure, I just like jealous of him. Like, dude, you're so cool. You do all these adventures, and that's what I want to be. And I'm an adventurer. I remember my aunt for years would tell me when I do stuff that's kind of crazy, like, Alan, you always have these crazy stories. You do such crazy things. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I don't even think that's true. Well, now I think it is true when I think about it. Yeah, that's why I like ENTPs, I think. Well, I don't even know. I don't know that many ENTPs. But ENFPs do the same thing. Just crazy stuff that we do. Like, one crazy thing I did is I live in a small town in Iowa. And one time I flew from somewhere to Omaha, which is like 2.5 hour drive from my house in this tiny town. There's all these tiny towns. And I just thought, I'll find a ride. I'll just get a ride from somebody. I'll find somebody that is from my area, or I'll just ask around for somebody to give me a ride up toward this way. And, I've done that multiple times, but I've hit, that's not that crazy to me, but I guess it is. And if somebody else tells me that kind of story, I guess I like them for it. And I guess it is kind of crazy. Or, I rode in a snowstorm once, and I should have stopped driving, but instead I just kept driving until I got completely stuck on some county road in Iowa or Illinois, or highway that just had 2 feet of snow or a foot of snow, and you just could no longer drive. And some farmer picked me up. I slept in my car all night on the road, and then the farmer picked me up in the morning and said, "Hey, do you want to come to my house?" And I spent the day there with some other travelers, or a few hours eating their food and talking to them. And then they brought me back to my car when the road was cleared. And, I tell my aunt that story too, and she just thinks, "Whoa, you're so cool." And I just think, "No, I'm not." What do you mean? But it's true. I'm an ENTP, and we do this stuff. And where some people might not have driven that night and said, "Oh, snowstorm," we're just like, whatever, I want to get there. I'll probably get there. What's the worst that can happen? Worst that can happen is what? I'll sleep in my car or whatever. And really, a lot of times, the worst that can happen is I'll have a cool story to tell people. Or, or to tell my aunt so she can say, "Wow, you're so neat." But anyway, those very reasons why I say, no, I'm not neat, are the same reasons why I love ENFPs, because I think they're so neat. They do so many things. They got so many ideas. They're open-minded, and oh, man. So anyway, I would just love to know in the comments what your interactions with ENFPs are, and if you find that you have this or not, or if you have a different experience. But please, please, I mainly just want this for people who are ENTPs to put that. And if you're an ENFP and you're reading this, please say that you're an ENFP, because I just really want to learn about this and for my statistics. And if you're something else, I mean, you might be watching this if you're a person who just happened upon it somehow, although it'd be pretty hard to happen upon this video if you're not an ENTP or ENFP. And you might think, I don't think people should be identified by their personality type, and I'm just going to say something on his wall, and because we're more than just an acronym. And well, yeah, I believe that too. But like, there's some commonalities that people have who type a certain way, and I'm finding that it's really, really useful. And it's yeah, I had no idea about this. Like, what is it? 80 something percent of like Fortune 100 companies, Fortune 500 companies use this. Yeah, it has a lot of predictive power. It really does. Um, Money talks. I mean, the money tells you. So there's a lot of critics of Myers-Briggs or of personality typing, this cognitive function thing, but dude, it has so many applications, and it's taught me about myself. ENTPs don't know themselves. I didn't know myself until Myers-Briggs is telling me what I think and how I think, and I'm like, oh wow. I would have thought somebody was so fascinating if they would have just come to me and told me, like, oh, you test for friendship and you think this way and you think all these things that Myers-Briggs tells me. Anyway, I'm getting a call from an ENFP right now. So I think I will end this call, and please leave me comments telling me if you agree or disagree about different things. Okay, next time. Until next time. Later. Bye.